Oh, I'm starting? Hey, what's up everybody, it's Billy Jean, and I'm here with my guy Carlos, serial entrepreneur in Mexico, has a real estate fund for luxury real estate, another company that has, if you need a virtual assistant, he's your guy, and he's already exited successfully a company. A lot of people here watching and you're like, hey, what's the proper way to build a company so you can actually sell it? And can you even sell something in the consulting world, which some people think you can't? Well, he did, and he's here with us today. Let's get it.
Billy, thank you very much for the invitation to be here in your...
Thank you for coming.
The studios are amazing, first of all.
Appreciate it.
I absolutely loved what you've done with the place. And just for my Mexican audience, because this is going to reach obviously a lot of people in Latin America, we have over 6 million followers. What's the 30-second on Billy Jean?
I'm honestly just good at selling things online. Facebook advertising, YouTube advertising, my ads have been seen 1 billion times. I've had the opportunity to work with some of the largest franchises in the world. Massage Envy, Orange Theory Fitness, Kia Motors, Dave & Buster's. If there's a local business, I've probably done it. I have 135,000 students in 75 different countries. Mi español es perfecto, pero yo hablo en inglés por ahora. Yeah.
We'll put in the we'll put in the Spanish down there. Yeah, we'll put in the caption, Billy. Don't worry.
My Spanish sucks. I know a poquito. So
Billy, I can I ask you a couple of questions?
Yeah,
let's start off with that. I've had this analogy around selling that I believe there are 3 worlds, right? Okay. I believe hell is when you're knocking on doors, when you're actually on the outbound and you're selling the messages, and it feels like hell.
I've been there. Have you been to hell?
Yeah, I've been.
It's the worst.
I started in hell, and
it's the worst.
And then I believe there's land where you get inbound. You're working, and people are getting to you, which I believe that's it's a different world. It's an interesting world.
Yeah.
And then there's heaven, which I call it when it's just pure brand.
Brand, baby.
When it's brand. So,
by the way, can I use that? That's kind of smooth. Like I might have to put that in one of my podcasts.
Yeah, go ahead. You can use whatever, man. So, the first question I'd like to ask you is, do you believe everybody should transition outside of hell, or is there a way? Let's go each world one by one. Like let's go first to hell.
So let's go to hell together. Interesting. I like the way to start an interview. So I have a 5-year-old daughter. I think of hell, oh my daughter. No, I have a 5-year-old daughter, and the skills that you pick up from cold calling, I worked at a call center, I was doing 600 cold calls a day. The skills that you pick up doing that, learning how to be fearless, learning how to take rejection, learning how to make yourself do something that you absolutely do not want to do at all. That aspect of hell, everybody has to go through that. My 5-year-old daughter, I want her to go through hell and have a couple scars to remind her of what it feels like. It also is the key to empathy. Sometimes people skip hell because maybe they were born into it or whatever it was, and it's no fault of their own. As a matter of fact, it's a good thing. We all try and bring our child into a world where they skip hell. But as a result, they lack empathy for those that are going through it. And they tend to talk down to people and are condescending. So there's aspects of hell that I like. Now, if you're born in hell and you choose to stay in hell, that's a mistake because it's fucking hot. Nobody wants to just be in hell, pounding on doors, taking rejection all the time, scratching and biting for every sale that they make. That's ridiculous. So the idea is to transition to use advertising or inbound strategies where people come to you, you don't have to chase them.
Now, inside hell, before we switch into the other world, inside hell, I'm getting a lot of people that are saying that LinkedIn is not really working for them. It's just a matter of referrals. Inside, so where you're actually sending that email, where you're doing that, are there any hacks that you found to the people that are there that can open up 1-2 doors? They're not looking for that many doors.
So, starting in hell, there was something that I did that worked really well that kind of brought my business to where it is today. It was my foundation. And what I would do on the marketing side to get customers is I would use a software called Camtasia. It's free for 30 days, and it just allows you to record your screen, right? And then so you can take your microphone on your computer, record your screen, and I would go to people's websites and I'd give them free consulting without them asking. So I'd pull up a website and I'd say, hey, Kids in the House website. I'm looking at your website here, and I really think it can be improved with X, Y, Z, da da da. I hope I'm not being too forward, and I don't mean this in any disrespect. You guys are doing a great job. But if you find this helpful and you would like me to, do some consulting for you, click this button here, jump on my calendar. I would be more than humbled to have a chat. I hope you found this helpful. Either way, shake hands, part friends. I hope this works out for you. And
so you would do content specifically for them, about them, right? That's
about
beautiful.
them. And I did this, when I tell you, it was hell. I sat there in my parents' house, got living in my parents' house, and because that's what I had to do. And I'm sitting there fucking 12 hours a day, microphone and screen, making videos. And then I would slide into their DMs on every platform possible to get their attention. But the people that I really focused on were people who already had postings on Monster and Career Builder, and they were looking to hire a marketing person. So I would go there, and on their videos, I'd say, hey, you're looking to hire a marketing person, that's gonna be full-time salary with all these benefits. Maybe I can get the job done by just doing some consulting. Here's what I do, it's just another option. So I found people who were active, they're already looking to spend money. And so I came in kind of like, let me save you money and deliver better results.
Yeah, I love that.
It was helpful, yeah.
Now, if you've already getting to know, I've seen these two sides of the coin. Gary Vee says, don't sell to the unsellable. If you got a no, don't waste your time on another no.
Right.
And I've seen the other part. Go pound it 100 times the door, and it'll open at some point. What do you believe is the better current strategy for hell? Should you keep pounding the same doors, or should you forget about the door that has closed for you for the first time?
I think in hell, the greatest asset that you usually have in hell is time, but you have to protect it. And so, depending on the service that you're selling, if there's a lot of people who need it, why not just focus on the people who are most likely to buy it? You know what I mean? Like, it's, yes, if you need a certain customer because it's a big deal that's then going to be a catalyst to a whole bunch of other deals, then keep banging on that door. But if there's one person gonna pay you a couple $100 and it's just a stress battle, just go ask somebody else. There's too many people who need your product or service. Don't waste time. But again, if it's a big fish that could be a catalyst and free up a lot of time, then maybe it is worth it. And everyone's just kind of use their discretion.
And usually they don't see that. They don't see the size of the market because they're thinking very much locally. Exactly. I believe that's a blind spot for a lot of people.
That's a great point. And I think until the pandemic, I don't think people realize that your customers don't have to be in your city. And then when everybody went online, they started waking up and this, and it's like, people like us, we've been screaming this for a decade. Yeah. Like, customers can be anywhere. And so, but it's kind of one of those things you have to experience to believe. And then once you do, you never go back.
Actually, my mastermind is actually a traveling mastermind. So we're nomads. So we're moving and trying to break that local mindset, which is very hard to break.
Yes, it's almost like, I don't know if you can by just talking about it. You have to experience. It's like, just get out and try it. And then when you do, you will never go back. I'll give you an idea. When I was doing a lot of agency work, most of my clients, and when I say most, probably 98%, were not in San Diego with me. And the ones that were in San Diego with me would always try and meet up in person and use my time. I got to drive there, I got to drive back. We want to sit in a boardroom and talk for 2 hours, etc. It was my most inefficient clients. And so I just set a boundaries of, we don't do that in person. And once I did that, I was able to control my time and scale a lot faster and still deliver results.
Even if they're in the city,
even if they're in the city I'm in. Nah. Because it took me down a black hole. You know what I mean? Like it just took me like, God damn it, I'm in their office all the time. They get comfortable, they overstep our professional boundaries, and it ended up being a nightmare. And that was probably with me with a lack of an experience, not handling it right. But yeah, now again, if there's a relationship that can be very significant for my business, well, I'll fly to them and meet in person, et cetera, and link up, right? But most of the time, when you're exchanging a service, it just wasn't worth it.
In Mexico, you have this tradition where you go into a meeting and it's 15 minutes speaking about the weather.
Yes, exactly. No, that's in the US too. That's everywhere. Everybody wants to do it. I'm just like, fuck that. Yeah.
It's hard. Anyway, so let's move on a little bit to the next world. So I speak a lot, sort of things similar to you, about starting content strategy, about people starting to produce content and starting to switch that inbound moment on their lives. But I've seen that people struggle especially on the B2B side.
Yeah.
Especially there. What has been your let's say, simplest hack for somebody that still hasn't transitioned their mind into an inbound mindset?
What usually stops people from inbound is one word: technology. Period. People are well, I said two: technology and fear. And usually people are afraid of technology. But it's the idea of putting themselves out there. Will people judge me? Is my outfit good, etc.? What are they going to say? People are so mean in the comments, and they are. So they never get over that fear of creating that content, doing it. And then secondly, it's like, once you do get over the fear, like, okay, how? Wait, I need to record a video? What do I do? What do I press on my phone? And am I gonna need this setup? Da-da-da-da-da. I gotta go to this website, I gotta build a landing page. Oh my gosh, I wasn't born with this stuff. And then quit before it even happens. So I like to give people easy wins, because I really believe in micro results. Little baby wins give you the confidence to do the things that take a little bit more. So something that I recommend that is inbound just as much as an advertisement or things that we create is buying people lunch. And what I mean, especially in B2B, imagine a client, they got 300 employees, and all you did every single week or twice a week, you just sent pizza to the office, sent sandwiches to the office, sent breakfast and some breakfast burritos, whatever it is. And you just sit there, and every time you send a note, I hope you guys enjoy. My name is Billy. I'd love to chat. You can literally call up the orders, have it all set up. It'll take you about 16 minutes to do, and then wait for the phone to ring. That's inbound. That's advertising. You put out something, a content, an experience, whatever it is, and wait for the phone to ring. You don't have to show your face. You don't have to be technically skilled. That is inbound. That's the same thing. It's direct marketing. It's a mailer. Instead of sending a piece of paper in the mail, you're sending some bomb-ass pizza. It gets people's attention. That simple. And then once you do it and you realize that you're spending time with your family, etc., and then you get a phone call from the person you've been trying to get a hold of, light bulb. Holy cow. So then you transition from not just pizza and sandwiches, but now you transition into
Tacos.
now you transition into the content videos, tacos, green juice, protein powder, like whatever it is. And that's the idea with content too, is you give people something so good that they want to reach out to you. It's a trade.
A question they ask me, Billy, all the time, and I'd like to see what's your answer on that, is should I do it with my personal brand, or should I do it with the business logo? And should the business be speaking, or should I be speaking? I give this analogy that I believe that it's two motors, right? Mm-hmm. Like planes, they actually can fly with one motor only. They can protect themselves for that. But it's better when you have two motors in a plane. Mm. I feel it that way. But how do you feel it in terms of the personal brand versus the corporate logo?
Yeah, this is a great question. Design your business, design your life, then design your business. And what I mean by that is, like, what do you want the outcome of your business to be? Do you want it to just be a lifestyle business where you have a little bit of freedom and you work on a laptop? Are you trying to build a big organization and create legacy, etc.? Like, what's the play 10, 20 years down the road? Because that's going to dictate you what you move with. So for example, what most people will say is the disadvantages of a personal brand is it's always you. You can't sell it, etc., and people hate on it, whatever. Then they'll say the disadvantages of a corporate, what I'll say, disadvantages of a corporate brand is that no one fucks with corporate. Right now, more than ever, people are really anti-corporate, anti-big food, anti-big pharma, anti-everything. Anything big or corporate, people are like, nah, I'm good. They follow brands, influencers, people. Personal brands. It's why you have Billy Gina's marketing. That's my face, that's my personality, that's me. But then our whole thing is become a genius, which is behind us there. That's them, that's the brand. That has nothing to do with Billy Jean, genius, right? That's it. So I have these kind of two identities, and you have to, like you said, feel them both. Because Billy Gina's marketing will get me, a $100,000 speaking gig. That's great. That's personal brand. If people don't like that, you can't do that as a corporation because nobody wants to see a robot talk. You have to do that as a person. So for speaking gigs, etc., traveling, that shit's awesome, having a personal brand. For the corporate side, being able to have a syllable asked her to create merchandise, for example. Like nobody wants to wear a Billie Jean is marketing t-shirt, and like that's kind of like what no one's gonna hype about that. But everybody can wear Genius and be that. So they both, like you said, 2 engines is better than one.
Now, Billy, if we dive into a little bit of the inbound, some people are doing inbound right now. In my community, especially, I've been drilling this down for a couple of years, and I've been having a lot of messages these days about are we stepping into a later stage in inbound where Facebook ads start to break? I mean, campaigns are not working currently. iOS 14 is breaking the costs per lead.
Yeah.
I'm worried.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be real. Since I've been doing advertising, and that's been 12 years now, on social media, this is definitely the hardest it's been. And hardest in the sense of, all of social media is nothing more than an auction site. And if you're at an auction, the more people they are, the harder it is. You get 500 people in an auction, I'll give you $5, I'll give you $10, I'll give you 20. You got 20, you got 25, 50, 50. The bid keeps going up. There's 5 people in a room, usually stays pretty low. COVID. 8 billion people are at home on the internet. Everyone is finding ways to go online. Guess what happened? More people entered the auction. It's more expensive because there are more people. It's just competitive. So right now, prices are up on social media like crazy because they can be. Now as things start opening up, you'll probably see them alleviate a little bit, but some people got addicted to that hit. They got a little taste of inbound, they don't want to go back. And then to make matters worse, Apple decides, you know what? I think they're gonna go into the advertising business, but they say, you know what, Facebook, you're done tracking. You're done tracking, like this is it. So now it's even harder to get a return on your investment because you don't know what's working and what's not, and it's all expensive. But the one thing that has not changed, great content wins. Period. As expensive as all these platforms can be, if you have a video that a lot of people are clicking, commenting, sharing, and watching, it will still be cheap. But that's hard to do. It's just a more competitive, like what it took to be in the NBA in 1950 is not the same as it is today. You gotta be way better because there's black people in the league now. The game has changed, So I think just people have to realize before, you used to be able to get customers just by participating in content. If you didn't have to be good, if you just did it, you'd probably be the only person out there and we could come up. Now you gotta be good. You gotta be good, simple as that. When I say good, specifically I mean entertaining. Entertainment, you cannot just come out with something and just sell. People will scroll past, nobody cares. You have to, mandatory, make people entertain, and that could be making them laugh, that could be making them cry. They have to be emotionally invested, and that is just not gonna happen. That's hard to do with corporations too, by the way. Like a corporation, no one has emotion or ethos for fucking a big corporation. They have that for people.
I'll give you a small Spanish session, Billy, a lesson. When you go fishing, people know that there are a whole bunch of, at the sea you can find a whole bunch of fish, right? There's always fish for everybody. But it's hard to fish. Some people come, spend hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars and they come back without fish.
Yeah, been there,
So fishermen in Mexico, they have a word called chumear.
Chumear?
Chumear.
Chumear, okay.
So what they do is they find a spot where they believe it's like a lucky spot. And the best carnage, is that what you put in? The best, the food that goes...
Bait.
The best bait,
yeah.
That's the best bait. Instead of putting it, they throw it away. They throw it around the ship.
Yeah.
Around. So what happens is fish start gathering around.
Oh, frenzy.
Yeah, and they attract... before they send any before they start fishing,
right.
they do this. That's what's called chumear. And I believe that this is something that we need to learn to do as marketers. Before you start fishing, just put out the best bait you have. And that's when you were saying about the.
So that way, when it's time to sell, people are already hyped. They've already tasted your bait. They've been biting, and so now you can catch the big fish.
I've written a book a couple of years ago, which I call it lose-win. You know how people say win-win? Everything's about win-win, no? I believe that age is over.
Yeah.
I mean, that's 1971, by the way, the win-win thing. I believe now it's lose-win. So first you lose, first you put yourself out there, first you give them a lot of value, and then...
You know, they say the best negotiations happen when both parties leave and feel like they lost a little bit. That's when they say that the best negotiations is like, I wish I had that, and you're like, oh, I wish I had that. We probably actually struck a good chord.
So to go into the last world, Billy, that transition for me is really the big question mark right now in my life. I believe I'm good in inbound, I can do, but there's still a transition where something that is inbound actually becomes a brand, and now it's effortless. And I believe that that transition, when you get into heaven, it's not that clear, not even in business books.
Right. Like what defines the moment, right?
Yeah, and is there do you believe, is there an actual moment where you actually leave the earth and go into pure heaven, or is there always how do you feel about that? And just to clarify for if this gets into a segment, heaven for me is when all your your revenue comes out of brand. So you're not doing basically customer acquisition, you're just doing like branding stunts and that. How do you feel about that part?
I think it's a couple things, right? I don't know if you ever completely just resonate in heaven until you die, right? Like I think, so if you look at, the Fortune 500 companies and you look at their financial statements, they still spend, like you take Walmart, they'll be like, oh, 500 billion in sales. But right next to that, you'll see $10 billion in advertising. So, here's the most successful companies in the world. It still never goes away. And the way companies mask it is they may not have a direct ad like, hey, my name's Billy, come buy my stuff and give me your money, right? That's what people call advertising. So people say like, well, Elon, they don't spend any money in advertising, etc. But to me, when you're on Twitter, using Twitter's platform and you're one of the most followed people in the world, that's advertising. The difference is you own that versus having to pay an influencer to distribute it. Like it doesn't actually go away. So I think the crossover, I'll actually give a formula to everybody that I think can help. I think this entire game of business and life is fucking fabricated and made up. And here's what I mean. Anyone can be famous. And there's math to it. It goes like this. If people can read about you in certain magazines, if they see you on certain shows, if they see you enough times, if they see you with the right people, and if they consume enough of your content, then you are famous. Record labels have been making people famous on purpose forever. And it goes like this. Hey, people are gonna read about you in Rolling Stone magazine. Don't worry, I know the owner. I'll get you an article. Hey, you're going to go and read at the Grammys, and we're gonna present you so people can align you with the Grammys. Hey, you're going to win a Grammy. Don't worry, I got you. We're gonna make sure it happens. Hey, people are gonna consume your content because we're going to pay the radio station, payola. We're gonna make sure they play your song at least 15 times a day. It'll catch on from there. And then they say, hey, in order to make sales, I have a relationship with Walmart, Target, and Blockbuster Music, so I'm gonna make sure that your album is right there and easily accessible. There's not a lot of resistance. That's math. Fame is not an accident. That is somebody paying money to make you famous. Kardashians, we're gonna put you on E in the prime time spot. Sundays at whatever o'clock when most eyeballs are watching. It's a decision. And so that's like with me with Billie Jean's marketing. I have just been subscribing to that, and now our advertisers have been seen 1 billion times. 1 billion. I go anywhere in this fucking world, every single, Billie Jean, what's up? I bought it. The difference is I didn't wait for a label to fucking co-sign me and give me money. Most people are waiting for that label to say, all right, we're gonna give you the plug. So they spend their fucking time begging, oh, can you da-da-da? I'm like, just fucking pay for the ads yourself. When you pay for the ads, you're in control. So I control my brand. I make the videos and then I tell them the story of who I am. To people's, like, I am, as you know, people see on camera, I'm the same person offline or online. But if I wasn't, you know how easy that would be? I could be whoever the fuck I wanted. I can tell a story, I can call my friends that work at Forbes, say, run this article. This, by the way, what we're talking about is politics. This is politics. This is what they do. They control all of the assets. And then they spend money to feel those things, and they tell us what to believe. They tell us who to follow. They tell us what's significant. It all comes from advertising.
At the end.
A little bit of a tangent there, but real shit. You know what I mean? Like,
now, Billy, what I posted in my stories a couple of months ago. There was a chart comparing the amount of ad spend for every automotive company. I don't know if you saw that table, but it was Ford millions and millions, and every company had millions of dollars in ads.
Right.
And then you came to that Tesla, and it was 0. Mm-hmm. And I got a lot of feedback out of that table. When we post the video, I'm sure you're gonna make sure we include that. Is there are actually 0 investments in that? What's your feeling on that? Because that feels like heaven, right? When they see that table, it feels like they're in heaven. They're not doing anything. And
it just means that they didn't pay for the advertisement, somebody else did. So what I mean by that is, take Tesla. Tesla is not cutting a check to whatever, but Tesla will make a fucking the president, the CEO of Tesla will make a flamethrower and sell it. And then all the other articles and blogs in the world that spend a shitload for people to read it are talking about them. So they're just creative of having other people spend their advertising dollars on them. The flamethrower thing was a brilliant marketing play. Elon had, what?
The short sauce?
Oh my God, the tequila? Like, he just keeps doing, he's great at PR. Literally, they just get other people to talk about them. So I don't know that it's even less work. Think about what it takes to like get the entire world talking about you. You have to do something crazy like go to fucking space. And so again, they're not cutting the checks, but they are spending a shitload of time and money and resources and products and PR relationships to get people to talk about them. So I don't know if it's heaven, right? Like it's just a different game. Yeah. It's a different sport. You know what I mean? Like, and also too, yeah, I mean, it's a different, but you also see Tesla like have these spikes where they make a shitload of money, and then if Elon tweets the wrong thing, they go the other way. And so that's the game of PR, right? They're not in the advertising game. They're wildly in the PR stunts game. But PR stunts go up and down. They're just volatile. But luckily they've been doing it right and they've been killing it.
Yeah. But it feels like that's a different game, no?
And let's also talk about this too, is going back with personal brand or corporate. Is Tesla really spending no advertising? Or does Elon Musk just have so much personal brand that feels it? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, like here's a question, if Elon is gone all of a sudden, what happens to Tesla? Do you think they start advertising?
That's an interesting question.
I don't know what else the fuck they would do. You know what I mean? Like, or they would just create another character. They would find somebody else to be the face, and then they would put them on certain stages in certain magazines, etc., until that person can influence the market. And they would spend advertising dollars to do that.
Or the brand would be so strong that they wouldn't even need to do that. Like Apple, Tim Cook is not the face. It's not the...
Yeah, but you see Apple is still one of the richest companies in the world, but they're also already the giant. They're already the category king. Like, what did Tim Cook really have to do at this point to keep Apple hot? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I don't know if Tesla has that much of a dominance in market share. They were first to market, but everyone's coming out with electric cars now. I don't know what happens to them without Elon. I mean, and he seems fickle. This guy might change his mind. He might change his mind and go off with his girlfriend and go do some other shit. And I don't know that Tesla would still be hot. People love Elon. When you hear people tell the story of Tesla, they don't just go like, did you see what Tesla did? They said, oh my God, Elon's so good. Dude, the guy made a fucking tequila. It's a lightning bolt. It's crazy. Did you hear Elon made a flamethrower? Like, he's the guy. So I think without him, I don't know.
Are we expecting a flamethrower from Billie Jean or something like that? Something like
at the same time, I'm studying. I'm like, okay, make flamethrower. Like, I don't know. That's something that, like, because I've relied so heavily on like direct ads, I haven't really dabbled into the PR game, but I'm going to, right? I mean, I think that's kind of where I'm at too. Is like, you know, it is different. It's a different sport. It's not the same thing. And I like the way Elon gets PR because he does fun, creative things that don't hurt anybody. most of the time when people get into the PR game,
You end up hurting somebody.
you're just talking shit about people. You know what I mean? Like the things that go most viral in PR is, did you hear what somebody said? Or here's one, Bill Gates divorce, Jeff Bezos divorce, you know? And then what's the number one comment? Jeff Bezos is going to the moon. What does everybody say? Stay there. Just negative fucks. Like, I don't know. So that's why I've never liked the PR game, because
It's hard. It's hard to play.
it's hard to play ethically with integrity. I'm up for the challenge, but a lot of people just do some bullshit, so.
And it's beautiful. Billy, thank you so much for the time. I mean,
I know we went through some rabbit holes.
No, it was a beautiful conversation. And just as a final thing, if you're seeing this in both Billy's or my channel, I want to make sure you send a DM to Billy, because I want him to be in Mexico. We're gonna do something in Mexico.
Send it solamente en español.
We're doing something amazing. We're thinking Cancun. We're thinking something for the Latin and for everybody. So, if you're seeing this, send a DM to Billy and tell him, Billy, we need you in Mexico, man.
I'm coming.
Come down and get some fucking tacos.
I'm in.
Billy, thank you very much.
Appreciate you, brother.
It was beautiful. Thank you very much, guys.
Later, y'all.